Worldwide movement, peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq hollering at you one more again. All right, man, this is not going to be long at all, but certainly very important, folks. We really have to pay attention to what's going on around us, right? And particularly take note to opportunities to voice our dissent to things that are not in our best interest, right? Most notably, I would reference the United Nations Agenda 21 and all the massive implications of that very far-reaching doctrine, right? I'm using the word doctrine for lack of a better description for what is turning out to be, in my estimation, personally, a pretty nefarious union of organizations and power structures that are making decisions and implementing policy globally that, when examined, is not particularly in our best interest, right? And folks, there is a concept that, in my estimation, we need to revitalize, which is the concept of power to the people, right? I think a lot of people don't really perceive exactly what that means, or, for example, what the Black Panthers meant by that concept, right? Power to the people quite literally means power in the hands of the people to make daily decisions, to make decisions on their lives that affect and impact them and their families, and collectively to make decisions that impact us on a whole, right? On a societal level. We need to have input and power over what things govern us, what laws we are called to adhere to, and every aspect of our lives, particularly those institutions that we find we have sort of lost control of, or quote quote, or no longer looking out for us, right? When I say us, I mean the people in general, right? Governments are in place to do what? To represent the will of the people, at least theoretically, right? Because we are seeing that many nations and many leagues of nations have actually, in my estimation, put things in place or have sponsored things that do not appear to be in our collective best interest, right? And the biggest aspect of what I'm saying as far as power to the people is the voice of the people to make decisions and determine for themselves what is in our best interest, and also the power to implement societal changes for our best interest, rather than focusing on the best interest of corporate entities, right? Why do I mention corporate entities so profoundly? Because we see that it is corporate entities that have essentially wormed their way into just about every aspect of our lives, right? Every institution, everything that profoundly affects us on a daily basis is in some way influenced by and often controlled by corporations that have no concern whatsoever for your best interest, that of you and your family, right? This is why the power must always rest in the hands of the people, so that the people have the wherewithal and ability to look out for our collective interest, right? So that we can stand up and fight for our families, for those we care for, so that we can be cognizant of the world climate, right? So that we can always be gauging when freedom is in jeopardy of taking a back seat to tyranny, to taking a back seat to selfish interest or myopic interest of those who pose to be in leadership positions, or are in leadership positions, but yet do not demonstrate behavior that suggests they have the best interest of us all collectively in mind, right? You know, I don't have to give you a lesson on a lecture or lesson on political corruption. We know that the current system is flawed in the way that our quote unquote elected officials are operating off of a set of stimuli, monetary usually, and principles that are rooted in self-gain, right? Very myopic ways of looking at the world and how they can use their power and influence to shape our paradigm. We can't sit back for that. It's time for that power, specifically the shaping of the paradigm, which the paradigm is the way the world works, right? The shifting of the paradigm and the power to do that must rest in the hands of the people so that we can steward for ourselves our path, and our futures, right? And what is best for us and our families moving forward, right? So we've got to not shy away from that responsibility. We've got to not to playfully and easily hand it off, right? Or sort of take a passe approach in establishing for ourselves what our new paradigm is going to look like, right? This is important and powerful work, right? It's something that we need to do to move forward in a sovereign place and with a mind state and a mindset that will not easily be shaken, and that is driven toward maintaining the core principles of a new paradigm, right? A much better paradigm than the old, which left us essentially drowning in misery, pain, and hate. Where now we're beginning to see, particularly in the eyes of the young folks, right? Especially the children, we're beginning to see the roots of a new paradigm take hold. And in that paradigm, power must rest with the people, and the people must determine our path forward. All right? Worldwide movement, peace, love, respect. Please like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell, tell everybody you know, tell some folks you don't know. Worldwide movement, peace, love, respect. Man, I love you all. I thank you all. Have a fantabulous day. Big King Sadiq out.